welcome back to One TV News with me, Esma. A major accident was narrowly avoided at Hyderabad's Shamshabad airport when a plane travelling from Mumbai to Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh encountered a technical fault. The aircraft made a safe emergency landing and fortunately all 144 passengers on board remained completely safe. The incident highlights the efficiency of the crew and emergency protocols in handling such critical situations. Minister P. Srinivas Reddy visited the district on Friday, participating in various activities. He inaugurated a central lighting project worth ₹2 crore at a 3-kilometer stretch from Vefalagada village to Vrindavanam. During his visit, he also addressed a gathering at Sri Ramchandra College in Kothagudam, where he highlighted the government's initiatives in women's welfare and education. The minister emphasized the importance of improving infrastructure for better public services.
Sir, please. తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో మార్పు కావాలని అది ఇందిరమ్మతో రాజ్యంతోనే సాధ్యమని ఇందిరమ్మ రాజ్యాన్ని తెచ్చుకొని సంవత్సరం పూర్తయింది. అనుకున్న ఆశయాలు చాలా వరకు ఇందిరమ్మ ప్రభుత్వంలో చేయగలిగాం. ఇంకా చేయాల్సినవి కూడా చాలా ఉన్నాయి. ఇచ్చిన ప్రతి మాటని తూచా తప్పకుండా రాష్ట్ర ఆర్థిక పరిస్థితి బాగలేకపోయినా పేదవాడి కోసం, పేదవాడి బాగోగుల కోసం ఈ ప్రభుత్వం పనిచేయాలని గౌరవ ముఖ్యమంత్రి రేవంత్ రెడ్డి గారి నాయకత్వంలోని మన ఇందిరమ్మ ప్రభుత్వం ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగూడెం నియోజకవర్గంలో ఉన్నాం. స్థానిక శాసనసభ్యులు పెద్దలు సాంబశివరావు గారు, అదే రకంగా స్థానిక పార్లమెంటు సభ్యుడు రఘురామరెడ్డి గారు అందరం ఇప్పుడే సెంట్రల్ లైటింగ్ కూడా ఒకటి ఓపెన్ చేసుకున్నాం. కొత్తగూడెం నియోజకవర్గం అభివృద్ధిలో వెనకబడి ఉన్నమాట నిజం. ఇది గిరిజన ప్రాంతం, మైనింగ్ ఉన్న ప్రాంతం. ఈ ఇందిరమ్మ ప్రభుత్వంలో స్థానిక శాసనసభ్యులు సాంబశివరావు గారు, స్థానిక పార్లమెంటు సభ్యులు రఘురామరెడ్డి గారి సారథ్యంలో తప్పకుండా ఈ కొత్తగూడెం నియోజకవర్గాన్ని అన్ని రకాలుగా చిత్తశుద్దితో అభివృద్ధి చేయడానికి భవిష్యత్తులో ఈ ప్రభుత్వం ఉందని మనసు.
Film actor Allu Arjun is preparing to submit a bail bond in the Sandhya Theatre stampede case and is expected to appear in Nampally court soon. The court has granted him bail with conditions including the requirement of deposit 2 sureties of ₹50,000 each. Additionally, the actor has been instructed to refrain from influencing witnesses. Allu Arjun is anticipated to appear in court as he complies with the judicial process.
Sunday రోజు he has to attend police station అంటే చిక్కడపల్లి పోలీస్ స్టేషన్ అటెండ్ కావాలి. అందరికీ ఉన్న అక్యూజ్డ్ ఉన్న కండిషన్స్ సేమ్ కండిషన్స్ ఇంపోజ్ చేస్తారు.
Former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has hit back at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who had earlier labelled the Aam Aadmi Party's rule as a disaster. In a press conference, Kejriwal criticized the BJP for facing 3 major crises and for lacking a clear agenda for the Delhi elections. He also accused PM Modi of using his 43-minute speech to defame the democratically elected government rather than addressing pressing national issues.
आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी दिल्ली आए थे और उन्होंने लगभग 43 मिनट्स का 43 मिनट का भाषण दिया, जिसमें से 39 मिनट उन्होंने दिल्ली के लोगों को और दिल्ली के लोगों द्वारा प्रचंड बहुमत से चुनी हुई सरकार को केवल गालियां देने का काम किया। 2015 में दिल्ली के लोगों ने 2 सरकारें चुनी थी दिल्ली के लिए। दिल्ली की संविधान में एक अजीब सिचुएशन है, दिल्ली हाफ स्टेट है, तो दिल्ली में लोग 2 सरकारें चुनते हैं। कुछ मुद्दे एक सरकार के अंडर में आते हैं और कुछ मुद्दे दूसरी सरकार के अंडर में आते हैं। तो दिल्ली में 2015 में लोगों ने 2 सरकारें चुनी थी, केंद्र सरकार बीजेपी की और दिल्ली सरकार आम आदमी पार्टी की। उसको अब 10 साल हो गए। इन 10 सालों में आम आदमी पार्टी की दिल्ली सरकार ने क्या क्या काम किए आज अगर आप मुझे बताने के लिए बोलें तो शायद मुझे 2-3 घंटे भी कम पड़ें। इतने काम किए, इतने काम किए, इतने काम किए, शिक्षा में, स्वास्थ्य में, बिजली में, पानी में, सीवर में, सड़क, इतने काम किए हम लोगों ने कि मैं कई घंटों तक काम गिना सकता हूँ। लेकिन जो दूसरी सरकार थी, जो दिल्ली के लोगों ने केंद्र सरकार चुनी थी बीजेपी की, उन्होंने 10 साल में एक भी ऐसा काम नहीं किया जो कि आज प्रधानमंत्री जी अपने 43 मिनट के भाषण में आप लोगों को गिना के गए होंगे।
Former Congress President and leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has emphasized that education is a fundamental right for every member of society. In a recent statement, he urged the government to allocate more funds for education instead of focusing on privatization. Gandhi stressed that the government's primary responsibility is to ensure quality education for all, which cannot be achieved solely through privatization or financial incentives. He called for greater investment to improve and promote the quality of education across the nation.
No, I feel that a country needs to guarantee quality education to its people. And I don't think that the best way to guarantee quality education to our people is to privatize everything. Because frankly, when you bring the sort of financial incentive into the game, you don't actually give a quality education. I mean, I've said this many times, the best institutions in our country are government institutions, yours being one of them, right? And so I argue for much more money being spent in education by governments. I also have serious problems with the way our education system is set up. I don't think our education system allows the imagination of our children to thrive. You might not agree with me, but I think it's a very restrictive system, top-down system, and I don't think it is broad enough, right? It's very narrow. I mean, I walked from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and I must have spoken to thousands of kids, and I asked them, what do you want to do? Lawyer, doctor, engineer, army. It can't be that there are only 5 things to do in this country. But that's what our education system is pushing. That, success, as we said, success as far as our education system is concerned is if you're an engineer or a doctor, or you join the IAS, IPS, or then you get into the forces. And really, that's just going to be 1% of our population. Maximum 2. 90% of our population is never going to do this, right? So the whole thing is geared towards this 1 or 2% who are going to become engineers, doctors, and then poor fellows, when they don't succeed, then they are, they're depressed and they're upset that I couldn't make it. But really, it's impossible for 90% of India to become engineers and doctors, and it's not even required. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, allowing kids to do what they want and allowing them to experience and do multiple things. Our education system disregards many things. It undervalues many professions, overvalues these 4 or 5 professions, and then tells everybody, "Bhai, yahi karna hai." So those are the type of things I would change.
What is one of the few important things that you would like to see change in the Indian higher education system?
In India, but what I remember in the classroom was there's a very clear hierarchy. There's the teacher, and we are students. And that person has a role, and we have a role. And that person is going to basically tell us what he knows. So it's very hierarchical structure, and knowledge is imparted straight down. And sometimes if the student says, I don't agree or I don't understand, the teacher will be like, listen, keep quiet. And if you do that too many times, he put you at the back of the class, and he'll like his 5-7 so-called, call them toppers or sidekicks or whatever, who will repeat what he says, right? The strength of the American system, which is that they will allow you to express yourself, they will allow you to engage with them, and they will broaden your vision. But where they completely fail and they're not interested at all is in the internal system. So they are very interested in what is outside you, the road, the tree, the animals, everything outside. But inside, they're zero. Literally, they don't even have a concept of it. Whereas in India, we might not be so good at the outside, but we are pretty good, especially our our traditional systems are pretty good at introspection, looking inside, self-observation, right? And then we have certain basic principles here, ahimsa, truth, etc., that are very powerful but are not in our education system.
Namaste sir, my name is Aman Motta. Sir, what is your vision about the research capabilities, especially in a research institute, considering there is a cut down in research fund and increase in the research consumable and in equipment, sir?
In my view, innovation will come broadly from the act of production. The problem is that we are not actually producing. Or the innovation emerges from the act of production. Okay? So that's one problem. The second problem in India is that we don't respect labor. So we don't actually respect the act of production. We respect conceptual work. Our society doesn't respect that physical work done by hand. And so we don't fund that work done by hand. We're not actually respecting the skill. And we're not giving money to the skill. But innovation comes from the skill. Innovation doesn't come from the sky. If you start respecting the carpenter, you start respecting the cook, you start respecting the shoemaker, you start respecting the mechanic, then you will start putting money into his business. And the moment you put money into his business, you'll get innovation. So I think one of the things that I want to push is moving more into the physical production space. So to me, really innovation comes from that space. Put as much money you want in R&D. If you're not actually producing the thing, it'll just be a budget.
Massive protest broke out on Friday in Dhar district against Union Carbide's plan to burn 337 tons of toxic waste at the Pithampur industrial area. Demonstrators attempted to block roads and, in desperate act, several protesters tried self-immolation, leaving 2 people severely burnt. In response to the escalating situation, Chief Minister Mohan Yadav convened a high-level meeting late at night and announced that the burning of waste at Pithampur would be halted until a court order is issued.
मध्य प्रदेश सरकार जनता के हितों के सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देने वाली सरकार है और इस नाते से हमने सदैव जनता के हित को लेकर के आगे बढ़े हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निर्देश और हाई कोर्ट के आदेश के परिपालन में यूनियन कार्बाइड का कचरा माननीय न्यायालय के निर्देश पर ही हमने पीथमपुर सेंटर पे पहुंचाने का उनका आदेश का परिपालन किया है और साथ ही साथ हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट की विभिन्न प्रकार के अलग अलग याचिकाओं के और अलग अलग प्रकार के दिए गए आदेश की सुरक्षा के मापदंडों का परिपालन करते हुए केवल परिवहन किया है। और जैसा कि हम सबको जानकारी है कि माननीय न्यायालय ने हमारे लिए डेडलाइन दी कि ये किसी हालत में 4 तारीख के पहले पहुंचना चाहिए। 6 तारीख को हमसे माननीय न्यायालय किए गए आदेश के परिपालन की रिपोर्ट चाह रही है और उसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में इस आदेश के पालन के साथ साथ जो मुझे ध्यान में लाया गया है कि पीथमपुर में ये जो निर्दिष्ट स्थान वो भी उन्हीं के द्वारा बताया गया था और परिवहन का पूरा आदेश भी हाई कोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट के उस पालन में ही सरकार के द्वारा किया गया है। लेकिन जो ध्यान में आया है कि हमारी जनभावनाओं के लिए अभी इस तरह की परिस्थिति में ये माना गया है कि जनता के बीच में ये विषय नीचे उतारना जरूरी है कि ये कोई सुरक्षा के मापदंडों पे किसी प्रकार से कोई खतरा या कोई डर जो जनता के बीच आया है, इसको हम प्रयास करेंगे कि माननीय न्यायालय के सामने ये विषय लाएं और उसके बाद ही आगामी किसी प्रकार से कार्रवाई की जाए। माननीय न्यायालय जैसा आदेश देगा हम उसका पालन करने के लिए तत्पर रहेंगे, लेकिन तब तक हम इसमें आप कोई आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे जब तक माननीय न्यायालय इस बारे में कोई निर्देश जारी नहीं करते। मेरा जनता से निवेदन है कि जनता के साथ सरकार पूरी दृढ़ता के साथ खड़ी है। जनता के किसी प्रकार का कोई अहित हो ये हम बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। माननीय न्यायालय के समक्ष भी वो विषय लाएंगे और माननीय न्यायालय के आदेश के परिपालन में अब आगे कोई कार्रवाई पे आगे बढ़ेंगे। मेरा आपसे निवेदन है कि झूठी अफवाहों पर विश्वास न करें। हम सब जनता के साथ हैं, हमारी प्राथमिकता जनता के साथ है।
Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has asserted that history will prove his stance on the Gaza crisis just as it did on Syria. Speaking on the matter, he emphasized that Turkey is the only country to have completely suspended its trade with Israel. Erdogan also referred to the Syrian conflict, noting that anti-government groups had taken control of Damascus, leading to the end of the Ba'ath Party's long-standing rule in the country. The Israeli army's brutality in Gaza continues as fresh attacks have resulted in the martyrdom of 77 more Palestinians. According to Gaza Civil Defense, at least 14 people were killed in an Israeli strike on the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza. Gaza's health ministry confirmed that a total of 77 Palestinians lost their lives in the last 24 hours, bringing the overall death toll in the ongoing conflict to 45,658. The fifth and final test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy between India and Australia is underway in Sydney with 2 days of play completed. Team India currently leads Australia by 145 runs but has lost 6 wickets in the end of the second day. As the match progresses, all eyes will be on how large a target India can set for Australia in the 4th innings of the Sydney Test. That's all for today. Stay connected for more updates. Thank you.